Would you say? What would you say?
Hispanic.
You say Hispanic? And then if you have a religion. So we were talking about missions and everything. I guess I just figured you were Catholic then.
No, it's just I was talking about like my parents when they would take that road trip down.
Oh, okay.
They would stop at all the missions.
Stop at them.
Because they're just pretty to see, I guess. That's my religion. My father, he believes in science. He believes in aliens and all that.
All right. When or what era were you born?
When or what era?
Mm-hmm.
What is an era?
Just when were you born?
What year was I born?
Mm-hmm.
1984. What's going on?
Where were you born?
I was born in Torrance, California.
Where were your parents born?
Mexico.
Both your mom and dad?
Yes.
Were they from the same area and met there? Or did they meet once they were here?
They met here in LA.
So you grew up here. Did you grow up in Torrance?
No, I grew up in Inglewood.
Do you know what parts of Mexico your parents were from?
Yeah, my mom's from Chihuahua. And my dad's from Sinaloa. Culiacan. Do you know the cartel land?
Mm-mm.
No. That's where he's from.
Was it known for a cartel?
Well, now it's like a hotbed of cartels.
Oh.
You know that famous guy, El Chapo?
El Chapo.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
That's where El Chapo's from, or that's where he's...
it's a little like town close to Riverdale, but that's kind of like the main city now.
Oh, okay. Do you know how old your parents were when they came here?
My mom, they're probably like 17 and 19. They would come back and forth though. They would just swim across the river, apparently.
What do you mean?
Well, they came more than once and then went back.
Both of them did? Well, how young were they when they met each other? Did they do that together?
No. They met here. They both had crossed over illegally. Actually, no. You're wrong here. My dad did that a lot. My mom did too. She would go back and forth. She had a son. But she got actually one of my uncles was in the Air Force and his buddy fixed her papers. She married him for the green card.
For your mom?
My mom got married to like a white man from here from Chandler, Arizona. My mom had a baby over there.
Oh.
16.
And married him.
Now she still has the last name. But he wanted to marry her. You know, raise Isaac, the little guy, my mom had. And so he brought him over here and rented an apartment. But my mom, she's like, I can't do this, you know. And she ended up, we ended up parting ways. But he helped her with her citizenship.
So she still was a citizen.
Yeah.
So do you still hang out, talk to that brother? I didn't know that.
My brother? My half brother, whatever he is. Well, he passed away when he was 4. But he wanted to help her out. And he wanted to marry her. He fell in love with her. That's how my mom ended up.
Because she did get married to him.
She married him, yeah. And my mom was just like, he was helping her.
Yeah.
My mom didn't want to be with him in 19. But yeah, that's for my mom. But my mom before that would go back and forth, like across the river. The Rio Grande, they call it. They call it. It
Really?
was very easy. I mean, they said that, worst thing that can happen, you lose a shoe, But
Yeah.
it's like, it's crazy.
So did your dad get his citizenship when marrying your mom?
My mom, no. My dad got his citizenship through the amnesty. Remember when, like, all these people got their papers through they call it the amnesty. I don't know what. Is it the Ronald Reagan? I don't know about that. But, we still had, like, it was like a mass, like, it was like a program under, I don't know what president, that people that were working here can apply for citizenship. They would get the green card. So my dad got that.
Where was he working? In LA?
He was working for like as a carpenter or something. Some little factory. But yeah, my mom was already here. So she met him I think they met when they were like 24, around there.
That's cool.
My mom had been going back and forth. I was finally settled when she found him.
What schools did you go to?
Like, you mean like kindergarten?
Like, yeah.
So the first school I went to was in Inglewood.
Because there's more than one elementary school in Inglewood, right? Inglewood's kind of big.
Inglewood, yeah. Oak Street School. So I started there. And then we moved down to 98th Street School, which was down the street by the airport. And I went there until I went to like La Tijera Middle School near Inglewood. And then I went to Santa Monica for like...
Santa Monica High School?
No, Santa Monica at Lincoln Middle School. I went to middle school in Santa Monica for like a year.
Why'd you go to Santa Monica instead of Inglewood?
Because my mom worked in Santa Monica and she wanted to put us in a better school.
Yeah.
But when we went there, it was different. It was like school was harder there, and I didn't really have a lot of the things that kids do. I had like the computer. It was like, kind of like, it was difficult. Because, all these kids were doing their homework and stuff on like computers and typing things, and I don't have a computer. Like, I mean, it's coming. I don't have a lot of money to have a computer at home in that time. All these rich kids there had everything. But I was only there for like a year and a half. I remember being embarrassed when my mom's like jalopy. She would pick me up and I was embarrassed of her. So sad. I mean, that as a kid, you don't really understand. It's not a big deal,
Yeah.
And then after that, I went back to La Tijera. And then we ended up in Inglewood High School, and that's where I graduated from Inglewood High School.
Did you go to Inglewood High School?
No.
I think me and her went to school.
Elementary school.
We went to Oak Street School. I think we're in kindergarten at the same class. Because it just makes sense.
Yeah, because I lived around there. I lived around there. Yeah, I think it was big, so.
Yeah. Okay, now I gotta know, because I've always wondered this about your life, long before this. I heard you went to college for architecture? So after you graduated high school in Inglewood, then where did you go?
I went to Santa Monica College, and then I went to Pasadena College to do the program there, the architectural program, to transfer to SciArc. Because if you go there, you complete the program there, you only have to do two years at SciArc.
So wait, is the Pasadena one a junior college?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you do that, and then it's 2 years somewhere else. Yeah.
It like cuts it in half, the cost of it. So I did do some of the programs. But like straight out of high school, I got into LMU. But since I really didn't have like guidance from my parents, because they didn't know better. They didn't know how to help me with college and stuff, and I was on my own pretty much.
That's crazy. You've gone to LMU. That's like an insanely hard school to get into.
Not back then. I don't feel like back then.
No.
Because at school they did like college fairs and all that, and they had like somewhat of a rinky-dinky little like counseling program. I think someone helped me out with my like statement letter and all that, and I put my stuff together,
that's
sent it
cool.
away, begged my mom for $50. At the time, $50 was like a crazy amount of money to just give me. And I was like, well, this is very important, you know? I don't think I even told my mom that I was what it was really, really for. I just said it was for school.
So you got into LMU, but then why did you not go to LMU?
Because I felt like I wasn't prepared for it. I was so like, first of all, I was just very like different. Like my life now, from then to now, it's like I talk now. I'm able to, you know, as a kid, when I was 17, I felt like I was a baby, you know? And I couldn't wrap my mind around going to like that kind of school.
Did your parents speak English more than Spanish, or Spanish more?
We always spoke Spanish at home.
But they speak English now, though? Or do they speak Spanish?
Yeah, my mom speaks better than my dad. My dad has a hearing loss, so he wasn't able to like really learn it. But he speaks. He can speak in English.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he knows some English.
Did you learn English then more when you were in school than you did?
Yeah, because I was like...
Because dual immersion wasn't a thing back when we were young, right? Like, they didn't have schools that were both.
We spoke English at home, Spanish at home, and then we went to school, and we were like in ESL or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like a special English. I don't know, remember doing that in school? It was like a bilingual.
It was a bilingual program. School program.
Oh.
For kids that went into school and they came from Spanish-speaking households, they kind of caught them up, you know, so they know. I guess.
Oh, so different than what like the dual immersion stuff is now.
Going into English, yeah. But at the beginning, you know, all we did was all English. When we went to elementary, even when I came to elementary school, it was just English. It wasn't like us, you know, because we knew Spanish because it was at home.
Mm-hmm.
But English we learned, but there wasn't really that program not till later. But I don't think I wasn't never in it. Like my kids, Vivian and Felix have always been in English learning Spanish. So the English class, but they still do Spanish and they have Spanish homework.
Oh, okay. Got it.
The other way.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
Even though, you know.
What age did you start working and why?
No. I think it was like... I was 21 when I got my first job. It was at a daycare center.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just wanted to like make money because my parents didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
But, you know, I got to make out of my own money. But,
were there any barriers in working for you? Any barriers in working?
I think it was hard to... Yeah, I think so because since, you know, I have ADHD. I didn't know it at the time because I never got tested in school. It was kind of like... I don't know, some things came more like difficult to me to learn, and I thought, well, taking care of children is easy, so I went for that. But it just seemed like, I mean, getting a job as a young kid and going and applying for a job was like no one had to give you a chance. That's how I felt. I don't know if you felt the same way when you were, like they looked at you like, I look younger than I did, but you know, I was like very like, I look young now for my age.
Yeah.
Imagine when I was like 17 trying to
I'm sure.
Get a job.
I'm sure. I don't know. I started working, I was 15. And I just worked for like the city, like the Parks and Rec department.
Okay.
But it was like kind of like coaching jobs and things like that you would get, like you would do. But everyone was young that did it because no one else would do those kind of minimum wage, like, you know. Yeah, working when you're that young was awful. Have you ever experienced racism, prejudice, genderism, classism, or some sort of exclusion due to your Mexican heritage?
I don't know, maybe when I went to school in Santa Monica, there was a very mean PE teacher. I remember him saying something about how, something to the effect of like I didn't belong there because I was just like, you must be on a permit or something like that. Because I don't know, I think I was just that kid that didn't like to participate in like sports and all. I just wasn't good at it, and I was lazy to do it. So I kind of acted out in that class, and I think I might have gotten on his nerves, and I think he said something like that to me. And I almost felt like, I think that's like the only time I ever felt like,
Yeah.
because, it's like he assumed, this girl's Hispanic, she doesn't, all the kids here are like white. He assumed I was not from there,
Yeah.
Your syrup bar was like.
I feel like Santa Monica would be such a huge school.
Such a huge family,
Like I remember, because I played sports against Santa Monica a lot, and their high school was massive. Yeah, Samo. Isn't that what they like went by? Samo or something like that?
But this was middle school. It's a smaller school.
Yeah, 'cause they have multiple middle schools, and that's crazy.
Their curriculum compared to Inglewood was so crazy. Like it was so like.
Oh, just like what you felt like the actual classes were different?
Like they taught so much. It was like expansive. It was like I was thinking even at that young age, I was like, wow, they're really like all these kids are on some great things. Did everything they're learning. And
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't have that capability, but all along was because I was struggling with a learning disability, and I was like thrown into the school where I didn't belong.
When did you get tested for ADHD then?
In college.
Did you decide on your own to do it?
Well, because I went to a counselor and he saw my grades and like my transcript was just W's because I was just like, it would get too hard, I would just drop class. And he's like, have you ever been tested for like ADD? Might be something we could explore. So after years of struggling, it's like I found that out. It was like, by then I thought it was too late because.
Yeah, it's so hard that no one ever suggested that, like when you're school, any of your schools before,
Because I think it's like a cultural thing. I think like my parents. I think parents they don't pay attention to those things, or they don't know better. Or they're just like not. They just don't know better, to get their kid. Like if my kid was struggling in school, I'd be asking, well, why? For them, it's more like, oh, if you're not getting A's, you must be doing something wrong. Because you go to school and they're supposed to help you. You're supposed to learn, but they don't really like dig into like why this kid is like behaving the way he is, or like why they're getting bad grades. So I don't know, it's something that they never really looked into.
Yeah.
It was like years down the road.
But it still happens. You'll be surprised up to today's day.
Like don't want to accept it, or just don't think about that it's a possibility?
Don't accept it, don't think about it. Like my sister, I remember telling I still have a sister that my nephew had also like a little bit of, not that, but like he was already like 3, 4, so we started noticing things, like as a sister started noticing things. He's not really talking, he's not really doing certain things that a normal 1, 2, 3-year-old would do. So it took her a long time. Well, I never had that conversation with her. It was just like, how are you going to tell me and things like this? So maybe either they see it but they don't accept it, or they kind of, or they really don't know. It's not.
Because I think our parents come here, struggling and stuff, but they don't think about like stopping and if they're not happy, they don't think of stopping and figure out why they're not happy. They just think about working and making that, taking care of their family, like just, I think they just don't think about how to like,
No, and it's something that is like, what? Like unheard of.
Yeah.
Like we're just gonna keep going because we need to make our lives and, we need to, make ends meet and all that. So it's like, they don't think about, a lot of people like in my family, like they wouldn't even go to the doctor back in the day,
Only when something's really hard. It's not like
Yeah.
not like us that we're learning and we know and we try to change things. But we only also knew what their parents knew. But
do you even think about that? Because there was some, what did her, in this class, we did something where it was like the one California mayor, when he started being the mayor of Los Angeles, it was like the graduation rate was like under 40% of high school graduation. Like people that graduated high school. And like of that, of like the Mexican Americans, it was even lower, but they said it was from their schools and when their families expected some people to go to work, start working. So it was more like dropping out. And when that mayor was in LA, he raised it so much by doing different programs and everything. But a lot of things aren't found like in the schools, you know?
Yeah, I know. We don't have that. They don't have the funds or, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because imagine if they like funded that schools at the time and to see which students are like struggling and get them help. So that way when they go to college, they're successful. You know, it's like my life could have taken another path. It's just like it wasn't in my power. I feel at this point to like finish because I wasn't equipped. You know, I didn't get the support I needed. My parents didn't know better. I'm not bitter at my parents because you know they didn't know better.
Yeah.
They were just trying to survive.
So did you go to school after Pasadena College?
That was the last school I went to.
Pasadena.
That program that was in.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think truly it wasn't really for me because when I really like something, it doesn't matter. Like this whole stupid thing I have, like I do it. It's like I excel at it. It's like
Yeah.
like everything I've learned cooking, like all these Mexican dishes I love. It's just by watching my grandma. I know it's just cooking, but you know.
But you like it.
But I like it.
Because all your food always looks amazing when you come here for lunch.
Yeah,
Her lunch always looks amazing.
But yeah, having support, I think, in our culture, it's like, yeah.
I only finished high school because I knew I had to finish, but not because nobody else was doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, it's like Lupita. Lupita was telling me that she wasn't going to finish high school, that she was about to not finish, but then her boyfriend at the time, who's now her husband, told her she had to.
My dad would have told me also, like, hey, I think you should go back to school. Like, I don't think he should, I think he remember telling me. I already had my son, because remember I also had him at a young age. Which I did finish high school, but way early than I expected, because I was pretty good. I wasn't like the smartest person, but I was pretty good at it. And then my dad once told me, he's like, hey, he goes, I've been meaning to talk to you, because I live with my dad. We rented a room with my parents, and then he's like, what do you plan on doing? And I was like, with what? He goes, yeah, with your life. And I remember that conversation, and he's like, you plan on him always supporting you, or him, you know, like, kind of, just working, and you just staying here, and then just being like a housewife or something? And I was like, I don't know. Because I was only 18, you know, at that time. And I was like, I don't know. He goes, no. He goes, you gotta go do something. He goes, he goes, you gotta go back to school. And that's when I went back to school. But I don't know what got into him, too. Maybe he saw like my mom. I don't know what got. But if my dad would have had that conversation, I probably would have gone back to school or college, you know, way after. But you know, I did it still early at an early age. Yeah.
Did you go to the school to do the front desk? Isn't that like a 8-month program?
Medical. I did medical
that's
billing.
right. You did do medical.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that reminds me.
I forgot about that.
The last school I went to was Cerritos College to do this dental assisting program. Yeah, so I forgot about that.
You went to that when you were working as a nanny then, right?
Yeah, so I became a nanny, and then I did that.
And then you did the DA program, right, at Cerritos?
Yeah.
Was your mom working as, because your mom was a nanny, right? Was she working as a nanny in Santa Monica?
No. No, she started cleaning houses, and the person, this is many moons ago, like close to 30 years ago, this family here in Manhattan Beach, she used to clean their house, so she was pregnant, so they offered her the job, and it took off from there. Then she took care of I don't know how many other kids.
Oh, funny. That's awesome, though. Especially if you like doing it, like taking care of the kids.
Oh yeah.
Okay, my last question. What do you... Wait, hang on. This phrase is funny. Me interviewing you. What do you want me to take away from interviewing you and learning about your culture?
My ADD brain.
It's like a quiz.
It's like a quiz. Really bad quiz. I don't know. I guess to know that, like my family, Hispanic people are very, they may not always have like, I don't know. I think maybe they like my parents didn't always like guide me in the right direction, but it's like we have a lot of heart, right? We have a lot of like, we're hard workers, or there's a lot of kids that have done really great things, even without their parents like, supporting them very much because they didn't know better. It's basically, we're just, I don't know. Can I add to this?
I don't know. It's I mean, I guess despite where we come from, or because it's kind of we were born here. Our parents came at a very young age and stuff. But I think no matter what, like our parents taught us what
Like good values after all.
Yeah.
Why did your parents want to leave?
From Mexico?
Yeah. Because where your dad was from, you said it was from... But that wasn't a thing back then, that drug dealer,
No.
the cartel.
Well, because they're so poor,
So what-
and they thought, like everyone else, the American dream of having a better life, having kids in another country where they're going to have better opportunities.
Did they leave here and go back there because they felt like they weren't able to make more money here than they were there?
Well,
Because what would make them leave here to go back?
My mom went back a few times, but it was because she was struggling here.
Yeah.
She didn't really have a lot of support. So she lived in El Paso for a while. Some of my family's there, and then she'd go back and forth.
And then eventually thought it was better here.
Yeah. Like she found she found her way of life here, so it was easier to stay here. Because when she was here by herself, she didn't, I guess it was overwhelming, and she would just go back and forth. And because she had her son that stayed in Mexico.
Oh, her son stayed in
She left
Mexico?
him with my grandma. My grandma kind of just like took him away from her. She's like, because she raised him as her own. Because my mom was young,
Because she wasn't with that man that she married then. She just basically got the green card and then...
Yeah.
But then he wasn't a part of the son?
No, because my mom wouldn't marry him, and he disappeared.
Oh, I thought she did marry him to get the green card.
I mean, my mom didn't want to be with him as husband.
Got it.
So that kind of. So
Yeah.
he threatened to take her green card away, but she said that in her broken English. She said, "No, mine." And then she went on her way, and that was that.
Yeah.
But it's a crazy story.
Yeah.
Good interview. I gotta go back.
I feel like the last question was kind of like
It's a hard question.
fudged it up.
No, you didn't. I thought it was excellent. It's just a hard question. I don't know. All of it's kind of hard, seriously.